It's time for Inside Seminole-Basketball with Leonard Hamilton, breaking down game-changing plays, momentum-shifting moves, can't-miss matchups, the inside scoop on the team and what's next for the Noles as they look to make another tournament run. ABC 27 presents Inside Seminole-Basketball with Leonard Hamilton, live from Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee. Sponsored by these businesses.
Basketball is on the air. Welcome to Inside Seminole-Basketball with head coach Leonard Hamilton, Gene Deckeroff. We're at Glory Days Grill, and we're talking Florida State basketball in the first week, full week of February. And, Coach, it's the heart of basketball season, and we're taking our lumps when it comes to the injury bug. I didn't think we'd have any more players injured. In fact, when you sat down here at Glory Days, the first thing I asked you, Coach, was, anybody else get hurt or ill since Saturday? And you said, I think you took a deep breath. I don't think so. I hope not, Coach.
Well, you know, every coach and every team will go through a period like this.
There we go. I think we'll hear Coach better with the headphones on. There. I'm sorry. I should have caught that. You look so good.
I have to admit that was a little funny. Now, where were we? Okay.
I said that I certainly hope, Coach, that between Saturday afternoon, the game over, and today, there have been no more injuries or illnesses for our Florida State basketball team. We have just been hit right upside the head with the injury bug.
Well, obviously it's affected my head because I didn't remember to put my microphone on. But, every team will go through a period every 4 or 5 years where you have a rash of injuries. We've had more injuries in the last 10 days than we've had in the last 10 years.
Wow.
And it seems like it comes in a cycle. Hopefully we're getting all of it out of the way now. But, the unique thing about this period, I just want to thank our fans because they've been so supportive. They're coming out and packing the tuck, and they're still behind this team. And I think our players are responding and giving a tremendous effort even though we're shorthanded a little bit. And it seemed as though that, like in today's practice, Anthony had his operation on his wrist this morning.
Oh, no.
And Naheem was there with the cast on his fingers. And Butler was in a boot, and so was Cam Fletcher. And it was interesting. So that's 4. And then with Malik Osborne, that's 5. And so, but that's part of the journey that we're on, and we have to step up. We have to have someone else fill in. We have to rise to the occasion. And the youngsters who are getting that extra playing time, they're going to be better as a result of the challenges that they're going through now. I told him the other day the true test of a man's character is how do you handle adversity? Everybody's pleased and happy when everything is going well. So how do you handle adversity when the heat's on and you're back against the wall? How do you respond? And that's the situation we're in. We have guys who are responding, and I feel comfortable that we're going to come out of this all right. And there's not anything you can do about it. You can't have a pity party. You can't feel sorry for yourself, because I will tell you this, whoever you're playing, they won't be feeling sorry for you. They're going to be trying to knock your head off.
In the middle of the ACC grind, Coach, I did not know about the surgery on Anthony Polite. So our two most experienced players now have had surgery. That's Malik Osborne, and now Anthony Polite. Is his status indefinite?
And Naheem McLeod. All 3 of those guys have had surgeries.
Yeah, but I mean, of the 2 of our most experienced players have had surgery this year.
Yes.
Naheem's a first-year player.
Yes, and as well as Anthony. But that's just part of it. What I'm like is that our players are playing very hard. They're defending. We should give it a good full account of ourselves. We just not coming close enough to win the games. We forced Wake Forest into 26 turnovers, and then we shoot poorly. We missed 16 layups, and with 16 point-blank layups, and we had wide-open shots where the ball just didn't fall in. So that's part of what you have to overcome. So let's just learn from that. Let's evaluate and prepare ourselves for Wednesday night's game against Pittsburgh. And let's go see can we get a W.
Leonard, even with the injury bug hitting us as hard as we have, I mean, we're not getting blown out. I mean, we go on the road and play Clemson. They blow out a lot of guys, a lot of teams on their home court at Little John Coliseum. And then we come home and we play maybe one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the ACC, Wake Forest, and they beat us by just 8. And let's face it, we're playing our hearts out. We're just not getting the wins.
Well, there's no doubt that these challenges will make us a better basketball team moving on down the road, and we just got to figure out a way how to win. That's all. We have 8 more games,
Yep.
8 more conference games, and we just need to win our share of them, and then let's go to the ACC tournament. And I want to remind you, we were 9-9 when we won the ACC championship, and I think we went to the Elite 8 that year, I believe.
Yeah.
So let's just keep working, keep grinding.
Keep grinding. That's what the name of the tune in the ACC in February is. Keep grinding and take one game at a time. On Wednesday night, we take on Pittsburgh, 9 o'clock tip-off, and then we travel to Chapel Hill, North Carolina, where we play the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's a 2 o'clock tip on Saturday afternoon. We're going to talk about a young fellow that has been in school for 6 years. He already has a degree and a half. He's got 2 degrees. A fellow that really answered the bell on Saturday against Wake Forest, a double-double. We're talking about the weatherman, Harrison Prieto. Stick around. We're going to talk to Coach about Harrison. Florida State Athletics would like to thank Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee for their support of Seminole Athletics. Glory Days Tallahassee, the home of Inside-Seminole-Basketball. Boy, the food smells good tonight. I'm glad we're at Glory Days, Coach. Keep it right here on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield. Here we are at the Glory Days Grill in Tallahassee, Florida, off of Centerville at Capitol Circle. If you're in the area, come by. We talk Florida State basketball with head coach Leonard Hamilton every Monday night. It's a little drizzly out there tonight, so if you're driving out and about, I think the rain's going to go away, but it's still cold outside. If we were in snow country, I think it would have snowed all day today. But inside here at the Glory Days Grill, it's nice and cozy, and we've got a little conversation going about Florida State basketball. Good to see members of the Extra Point Club here tonight. And how about a big round of applause for the ladies? Speaking of the ladies, last night Sue Simron, the women's basketball team, took care of business, beat Notre Dame for the first time ever. Y'all were probably at that ball game, 70-65. And how about that second half? Huh? Pretty good basketball. Coach, we went to break, and I said, let's talk about that 6-year guy. In fact, only Andrew Wilson is the only other Seminole that played for 6 years. He had a couple of injuries that kept him out. And here's Harrison Prieto. The COVID pause enabled him to have one more year of eligibility. He was already going to leave. Why didn't you talk him into coming back and playing?
Well, we love Harrison.
Yeah.
He has been such an instrumental part of our journey. He high character, great student, tremendous leader on and off the court. And he plays a big part in helping us prepare for each game. He's on the green team, the Vipers. and he really kind of gives them the instructions. And so as our numbers we get depleted with all the injuries. Having a guy like him who's been around, who understands your system, and who steps up and gives us consistent play every day in practice. And it's interesting that he had the double-double the other night. But what he does best is shoot threes.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that he didn't make but 1 3 in the game, and we made a little change in our offensive system so he could set screens and pop and shoot his threes. But he was more productive inside. And he gave us great leadership, and he kept the offense going. And I can't say enough about him coming off the bench, not knowing how much he was going to play, and he stepped right in like he was a veteran, which he is, and I'm very, very pleased with him. And I told him today in practice that people will have the films, and they'll be giving him a lot more attention. So we're going to see if he's going to get a double-double with everybody realizing that he's pretty clever player inside.
I asked Adrian Crawford on the radio broadcast, how much film do you think that Steve Forbes and his staff put into looking at Harrison Prieto before that ball game? They're going to look at him now, aren't they?
Well, I imagine that Pittsburgh would give him a little attention, and we're going to see how productive he is with the bullseye on his shirt.
His career high was 5 points prior to that ball game. He had 5 points in the first couple of minutes. He made the first 5 points for the Noles, and by halftime he already had a career best, and then he had the double-double and had a couple of steals and assists in that ball game. He's going to be talking about that next time. 10 years from now, Coach, when you invite former players back like you did this past weekend, we have an alumni reunion. Harrison Prieto will be back, and he'll have scored 30 points in that ball game.
Well, he'll have a nice film to set and show his son as he's growing up. Look how good a basketball player I was in college. I was the best player on the Florida State team. That's going to be his story, and he needs to stick to it, right?
There he does, absolutely. Harrison, you keep talking about 13 points, 10 rebounds, an assist, a couple of steals, and Florida State battling a very good basketball team that's now in the top 25, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And, Coach, before we leave Harrison, if there's another example, concrete example of a student athlete, Harrison Prieto has got to be that example because he's got a master. He's working on master's degrees. He already has in the toughest program at Florida State University, meteorology.
How do you spell that?
I don't know. Meteor, M-E-T-E-O. I don't know. I'd flunk that spelling test. But Charlie Hogan was on earlier on your show earlier this season. He handles the academics for Florida State athletes, and particularly basketball, among other sports. And I asked him what the toughest class was at Florida State, and he named about two that were in the meteorology program, and Harrison Prieto's aced both of those courses. I mean, that's an incredible tribute to him as a student, Coach. It says he's got a double-double already on the academic side.
I'm not real sure I've ever made an A. I don't know about you. Have you
I
made
made
an A?
one or two. Hey, Leonard, it's so long ago I can't remember what my grades were. That's my story.
I had an A, but one side was missing.
Don't let my imagination go any further. Coach, I just mentioned, and by the way, congratulations, Harrison, a tremendous performance. And they're going to be. He plays the 5 position or the 4. What does he play exactly?
Well, actually, he's versatile in the way we play. You know, we have to have versatile players, and he shoots the ball well. He's smart. He plays inside. He really gives us a challenge every day in practice. Mm-hmm. And you can't say enough about a great attitude, just tremendous Seminole, and he represents what that unconquered spirit means, and I couldn't be prouder of him. He's always comes to work, and there are times when he'll come to practice late because now he's teaching classes. He has a class of his own, and then sometimes he has to leave early. Sometimes he comes late. So, but we allow him the opportunity to do that because we know that he's very serious. It's interesting that a couple of years ago when we had some weather issues, he always gave us the weather report before we started our team meetings. He was really good.
Snow on the horizon up in Chapel Hill. Harrison, tell us the weather report before we pack our bags. We want to know if we have to wear warm clothes, go up there with the suntan lotion. It's probably going to be cold in Chapel Hill. Wednesday night, we play the Pittsburgh Panthers at the Tucker Center. That's at 9 o'clock. And on Saturday, we travel to Chapel Hill and play the North Carolina Tar Heels.
You don't think I need suntan lotion, do you?
Not up in Chapel Hill.
Okay.
Not up in Chapel Hill, Coach.
All right, we'll see.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of the Florida State Seminoles. At Planet Fitness, gain access to a clean and spacious club with tons of equipment and the one and only no judgment-free zone for all just for $10 a month. Go Noles. That's Planet Fitness, a proud partner of Florida State Athletics. Keep it right here on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield. Why you tuned us in, ABC 27. Glad you found us on the television and up and down the Learfield Seminole Sports Network. We're talking Florida State basketball with head coach Leonard Hamilton. Coach, we're going to take on two teams this week. ACC, we're in the home stretch. Well, 8 games left to go, as you talked about it. We've got a home game on Wednesday, an away game on Saturday, and then we get into the grind. I think we got back-to-back away games, but we'll talk about that on next week's show. Before we talk a little bit more about our basketball team, let's look around the college basketball. Another team joins the top 25 this week, Wake Forest, I guess on the heels of beating us by 8 at the Tucker Center on Saturday. They moved to number 25. Duke is in the top 10. They've been there all season long, but it surprises me. I see an awful lot of college basketball, Coach. And to me, the ACC is the toughest conference, and it shocks me that there's only one team in the AP poll and just 2 teams in the coaches poll. What's wrong with these pollsters?
Well, I think what's been happening over the number of years is that Duke and Carolina, they have been the staples. So when both of them are not playing well, that means that something must be wrong, and I don't think people have adjusted that the ACC is no longer dominated by any one or 2 particular teams. Wake Forest is as good a team as you will play in America. They have 5. Well, actually, they have 6 or 7 guys that are all capable of scoring 20 points on you, and they could have 3 or 4 can score 20 all together. They are a really challenging team to defend because they have older, more mature players. I believe they have 4 graduate students, and I think they ages are 26, 25, 24, 23. They have 5th-year guys, 6th-year guys, and they're a team that's a little older and more mature. Not that that's bad. Those are the rules. The rules allow for that, and they are really, really a good team. And we played them by as well as they've been played against all year. Been played, well as anyone has played them all year long. And they are really, really good team. It says a lot about our guys that I thought that we forced them into 26 turnovers. We just couldn't buy a basket. And I told you beginning of the year, I thought we would be an outstanding perimeter shooting team. And for whatever reason, we're not finishing our shots. I think a lot of that is maturity. The older and more mature you get, you relax a little bit more. You feel more confident, and you step up and you make those shots a little better. And we're getting wide open looks, which means our offense our players are working together, and our offense is efficient, but we're just not finishing our plays. Hopefully, in the next 8 games, we'll grow up a little bit with some of our youngsters getting a lot more playing time than they were earlier, and hopefully they'll feel a little more comfortable on the court, and we'll start knocking some of those shots down. So it's on the grind. We just got to stay at it.
Now, how good is Wake Forest, the number 3 of the conference? They are now 9-4. The 2 teams ahead, Duke and Notre Dame. Then it's Wake Forest, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia, and Florida State. We're right in the middle of the ACC standings as we head into the final month and a half of ACC basketball. We have a studio audience member with a fan here at the Glory Days Grill with a question for the head coach. Go ahead.
I've got a familiar face, Gene. It's Mr. Clark. What you got for us, Clark?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Coach, I think the injury bug just hit again. I think I pulled a hamstring. Good question. Here's my question. I know you go in with a game plan into every game. I'm just wondering, how difficult is it once the game starts and maybe it's not going exactly the way you want it to change in the middle of the game to try to, get us going in another direction?
Well, we've been pretty consistent with the way we have played over the number of years. But now it's more challenging now that we don't have the numbers that will give us an opportunity, to sustain our effort for longer periods of time. We like to try to rotate our players somewhere around 4 or 5, and some guys can go 6 minutes, and you have some guys that can go 3. So as a coach, you get a feel, and you if a guy's not running real hard, but what has been going on as of late, our players play to their fatigue, and they always ask to come out, and so that allows us to keep fresh players on the court. When our numbers are down, then obviously people have to play extended minutes. It's hard to play the type of defense that we want to play, and we want to play fast on the offensive end when you're fatigued. And so at some point in time in the game, if we're not careful, you have 3 or 4 guys on the court that needs to get a break. And sometimes, when you're playing at the level that we're competing at, that can be challenging. A team can go on a 8-point run on you before you can get your fresh players in the game. So it does challenge you. But we're going to continue to keep playing the way we think is effective with us and the talent, and we just believe that we'll figure it out. We just believe that some guys are going to step up, And we just need your fans, you guys, to stay with us. We really need your support now just to get behind these guys and be that sixth man in the stand, the sixth man in the stand that gives us that little extra boost. But there's no doubt that this team is giving it all they have, it's very much appreciated. And I appreciate the numbers that are coming out, the people who are supporting us, because we need a little extra push right now. So thank you so much for that question.
Absolutely, Coach. I'll tough it out. I think I'll make it through this week.
Okay,
I'll make sure and get there on Wednesday night.
Go get you a nice hamburger to help that pull muscle you got out.
Meatloaf, Coach.
Okay. He's got the meatloaf dinner over there. I saw
meatloaf,
that.
Okay.
One of the hot items on the menu here at Glory Days Grill. And by the way, talking about the minutes, and when a guy needs to get a little breather, you've been able to rotate, bring him in. 25 minutes for Harrison Prieto. Did you get him 2 tanks of oxygen after that ball game? I mean, he looked absolutely drained.
All I know is that he came in Sunday looking for a massage.
I hope he got 2. Keep it right here on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield. We are talking Florida State basketball with head coach Leonard Hamilton. Glad you found us on your radio on the Learfield Seminole Sports Radio Network and on ABC 27. Welcome back to our show. We're about the halfway point. And, Coach, for this next few minutes, I'd like to talk a little bit about defense. And it just amazes me that year in and year out, Florida State is one of the top defensive teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference, particularly when it comes to stealing the ball away from other teams. We forced 26 turnovers against Wake Forest this past. That's the most turnovers Wake's had in probably a decade, and a lot of that was our thievery, our stealing. What do we do so well to make us the top team in the league year in and year out, stealing the basketball?
Well, what we try to do, we try to utilize our hands and our length a little more than what most teams. If you notice it, we call closeout when you advance into the ball when someone catches it. Our guys, they close out with their hands up like this, and we try to do that on the catch so that we take away the vision where you don't make a direct pass into the post. And so that helps. We also try to contest passes. In other words, if a person's trying to make a pass, we just want him not to be able to make a chest pass. For instance, Caleb Mills had 10 deflections in the Wake Forest game. That was him moving his hands and not just holding his hands down to the side and letting people just pass the ball wherever they want to. And so I think we had like 37 deflections in this particular game. And a lot of times that gives you an opportunity to get out in transition and get some high percentage shots. We have a set of rules that govern the way we will play defense. We have your feet supposed to be in a certain way, your head's supposed to be turned a certain way, and we switch 1 through 5, which is different. Mm-hmm. We try to overplay the wings. We pick up full court 94 feet. We try to front the post, which is a term that we use when we don't try to let the ball come inside. We try to contest shots. And so the combination of all those fundamentals, I think, gives us an opportunity to take away certain types of systems from the offensive team. If you heard some of the commentators on TV say that you can't run offense against Florida State. Well, that's because, we commit ourselves to doing things defensively, now, unlike the pack line where you back up and just contain the area. We try to be aggressive. That's one reason why we need more depth. That's one reason why we play a lot more players, because we lose a lot more energy. And I hope that wasn't too confusing of an answer.
No, it sounded good to me. We are almost at 10 steals a game. That's tops in the AC. Caleb Mills leads us with 30. He's a brand new Seminole. You taught him well, Coach. You taught him the principles of Florida State defense. He's got 39 steals. That's 4th in the conference. And everybody, all the guards are doing extremely well, picking the pocket of other players on the team.
Well, we need to guard the three-point shot a little better.
That's one area, yes, sir. But we've played some outstanding three-point shooting teams over the last 2 weeks. I'll tell you what, if anybody shoots better than Virginia Tech, I don't know. Wake Forest is pretty dadgum good, too. Coach, we have another question from a member of our audience here at Glory Days Grill. Go ahead.
That we do, Gene. I got Gabe. Coach, Gabe, what you got for Coach?
Hey, Coach, thanks so much for being so generous with your time. I know not all head coaches do this, so we really appreciate it, and we got your back on Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
What I wanted to ask you, everybody is fond of your recruiting prowess, and you've unearthed a lot of hidden gems over the years, starting with John Starks at Oklahoma State and then here at FSU with players like Al Thornton and Devin Vassell. Without giving us all your secrets, how do you do it? What are you looking for in a Florida State basketball player?
One thing that we all are aware of, there are a lot of good basketball players in the United States. What we try to do is find guys who fit the way we want to play. A guy can be, for instance, we like for our traditional titled power forwards to be skilled like Raquan Gray. And he relieved pressure. He took the pressure off the point guard because even though he's a big, strong youngster, he held the ball, which makes our offense go a little more. We have a power forward now, so to speak, in Jonathan Butler. But even with his size, he's a good ball handler, and he's going to evolve into a really, really good passer and perimeter shooter. And so we try to, another guy, we've kind of shied away from some guys who have been first-round draft picks with 1 year out in college that are athletic, shot blockers, rebounders, good players, but don't quite fit the way we want to play. And so we try to be selective. We normally have a lot of big guys. Well, most people don't want big guys. When we had Bernard James, even though he was a shot blocker, he was quick enough and athletic enough to contain the dribble. And so right now we've had a problem with that because our 7-footers are not quite as agile and mobile. But when Chris Kamaji came with us, he wasn't agile and quick enough, but as he got older and more matured, he did a great job at containing the dribble. So, we try to fit our system with the type of players that we recruit, and we want them to have high character, a high energy, and want to be a Seminole. That's what we like.
There you go, Gabe. Thanks for your question. That was a very good question. How about round of applause for Gabe?
Noles.
Yeah. Question, Gabe, a member of our studio audience here at Glory Days Grill. If you have a question, we've got the microphone for you. You can ask the head coach right here on Monday nights about his basketball team, our basketball team. But Coach, you mentioned we want players with character. We want players that want to be a Seminole, and also you want players that will go to the classroom and study. And 97% graduation rate. Head coach Leonard Hamilton, the best in the league. I'll tell you that right now. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Welcome back to our show with zero sugar, and now more delicious is the new Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the best Coke ever. Well, find out for yourself, will you? Keep it right here on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield. Here we are on a Monday night, a drizzly Monday night. I guess another cold front's coming through. It's Florida State basketball with head coach Leonard Hamilton. Glad you found us on the television on ABC 27 here in the South Georgia, North Florida area, and on the Learfield Seminole Sports Radio Network. We're talking Seminole hoops. And, Coach, we've had some great questions from our studio audience. We've covered a lot of ground. We've got more ground to cover before we reach the top of the hour. A couple of games last week. We played Wednesday night at Little John Coliseum. We played Saturday at home, quality ACC foes. We're playing shorthanded. Anything that we did well in the Clemson game? I know we came up short, just a little short. We had it was down to 2 points late in the ball game. We had a chance. Anything that we did well or that you think we could improve on?
Well, there's no doubt that we are improving with this learning how to play with each other. We have so many first-year guys that are first time around playing in the ACC. And when you look back over the last number of years, I think we had two freshmen when Dwayne Bacon and Malik Beasley started as freshmen. Right. But then past that, then I think we had Jonathan Isaac. He was the only guy that we worked in, and then it was Devin Vassell. He only played 10 minutes as a freshman, but we was working him in. Then Patrick
Patrick Williams
was worked in
first round draft pick.
with an experienced group, and so was Scotty Barnes. But now it's completely reversed. We have 7 first-year guys, and I think we had 4 or 5 returning players, Tanoa being one of them and Evans being the other, and they had not been around very much. Our most experienced guys was Anthony and Wyatt and Malik. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So it's been a little bit of a challenge for our guys just to do all the fundamental things correctly, and it's been a challenge for us. And just making decisions and being confident when you go to the free throw line, and moving the ball when you're supposed to, and adjusting to the bigger, stronger guys. And in the league this year, especially with like Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech, Clemson, Wake Forest, those teams are very matured, and even along with Louisville and Notre Dame, those guys are older, more mature guys, and we're the complete opposite this year. We're younger and less experienced, but we're gaining experience, and we got 8 more games to go, and hopefully we've gained enough experience now with the lumps that we've taken, and that we'll be much more prepared during the stretch. Because we have to find a way to overcome the lack of quality depth and the experience, and hopefully we're getting that experience, and now it's time for us to get back to winning.
Leonard, before we leave that Clemson game, I know you were glad to see the return of Caleb Mills. He had a tonsil issue in the Georgia Tech game, played just about 2 minutes in the Virginia Tech game, and then he comes on and leads us in scoring with 16 people on the road.
Well, if you remember correctly, he was sick during the Georgia Tech game.
Yeah.
And he was limited as to whether his effort there. And it was just one of those things, man, that you go through. And I felt so sorry for him because he was not scheduled to play at all. And when he found out that Evans was not playing, he said, "Well, Coach, I have to try." Mm-hmm. And we gave him the opportunity to do that, but he just didn't have the energy.
Well, that was a Virginia Tech game. Yeah,
yes.
He came and played about 2 minutes and turned the ball. But he came back, scored 16 points. In fact, he's led us in scoring the last 2 ball games.
Well, here again, he has a little more experience. He played at Houston for a while, and so let's just kind of think now that we're in the second half of the season. So now we're experienced ball club. Now it's time for us to step up and show how experienced we are.
Florida State gets ready for a Wednesday night game against Pittsburgh, 9 o'clock tip-off at the Tucker Civic Center. And then on Saturday, FSU travels to Chapel Hill to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. That game slated to tip off at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Hey, Seminole fans, the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles reminds you to stay in the game and play by the rules. Texting and driving is against the law. One text takes your eyes off the road for about 5 seconds and at 55 miles an hour. That's like driving twice the length of a basketball court with your eyes. That's about 180 feet with your eyes closed to wind. While driving, you must focus, put it down, and focus on driving to arrive alive. We continue our discussion with head coach Leonard Hamilton about your favorite team, the Florida State Seminoles. Keep it right here on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield. We're talking Florida State basketball on a Monday night. There's nothing new about that. Here we are, Glory Days Grill, and Florida State trying to get a victory. We play Pittsburgh on Wednesday at 9 o'clock at the Donald Tucker Center. If you're a big fan, now don't turn off our show. But Virginia Tech is playing Pittsburgh right now in Blacksburg at Castle Coliseum. Oh, by another ACC game tonight. It's Duke hosting the Virginia Cavaliers. So the 2 Virginia teams are in action tonight. The one we're keeping our eye on is the Pittsburgh versus Virginia Tech game up at Blacksburg because we play them on Wednesday. I'm sure your staff is watching that game, and you're here talking Florida State basketball, Coach. You can't wait to look at the video of this ball game.
Well, there's no doubt that I will be looking at that video. It'll be on my computer as soon as I get home. And we've watched. This is Coach Young Scout, mm-hmm. And so he watches every game of our opponents that he's preparing us for, and so he'll have a thorough evaluation of them, and we'll be talking about it tomorrow.
And when a coach looks at video, it's not like a fan like myself or fans here in Glory Days Grill. When we watch a basketball game, you pay a lot of attention to different details, and that TV camera doesn't give you all the information you want about that basketball team, does it?
Well, we see enough film that you'll get an idea. We got to know what kind of pressures they use, what type of zones they use, what out-of-bounds plays they use. I mean, so we try to be as thorough as possible. Sometimes I think we over-evaluate and we give our kids too much information, but it's better to give maybe too much and not enough. We realize, though, basically our defensive principles, the question that the young man asked earlier, really normally takes care of most defensive schemes. And that's why we play the way we play with, and so we can be consistent with how we play defensively. Now, offensively, sometimes we have to make adjustments because certain teams have different defensive schemes that are a lot more effective against the way we want to play than others.
Coach, in the last segment, we talked about Florida State versus Clemson, our last away game at Little John Coliseum. We got it down to within 2 and just could not close the door, and that's a tough place to play. Ask anybody in the ACC. Playing on the road is probably the most difficult thing ever invented by Dr. Naismith, I'll promise you that. But the Wake Forest game, we kept it close the entire ball game. They made a few more free throws at the end, and one 3-point shot by Musius that killed us. But we had that game where we had a chance with a crowd behind us to win that ball game. We just did not get that last basket or two to fall for it. But we still played a good basketball game.
Well, great observation. I thought that they hit 3 timely threes when the game was on the line, and we had those same shots on our end that we just couldn't get them to fall. And that happens sometimes when you're young and inexperienced. But I'm glad our guys are learning and growing. Now we got to take what we've learned in these last several games that we have not been played well enough to win, and hopefully we can put all that energy into the game on Wednesday night and stop the bleeding, so to speak.
Against the Pittsburgh Panthers, tip-off is at 9 o'clock at the Donald L. Tucker Center. Coach, in that ball game against Wake, a number just jumps right out off the stat sheet. 26 turnovers by Wake Forest. They're averaging about 14 turnovers a game. How did we force 26 turnovers in a game against a team that's now ranked in the top 25?
I think our guys were locked into what our defensive game plan was, and but we couldn't convert them. We had plenty of opportunities. I don't know how many more shots we were able to take compared to the numbers that they took because we had extra possessions because of the turnovers that we forced. We just didn't capitalize on them.
And, Coach, the leading scorer in the Atlantic Coast Conference is a young man by the name of Olandis Williams. He's a transfer from – everywhere I look, there's transfers from Oklahoma, Coach. What's wrong with Oklahoma? They're sending players to the ACC. We'll see one in North Carolina. Mantic is from Oklahoma. But he comes in here, the leading scorer in the ACC, and all he does is score points. He had 23 against – he averaged 19.
Well, that's a great observation now. He only averaged about 6 points a game at Oklahoma. But they have the next player – is from Indiana State. Then they have one from Ole Miss. They have 2 from East Tennessee State, and the young man from one from Colorado, and from Oklahoma. So they have like 6 or 7 transfers who have played at other schools. They've transferred in there, and I have to give Coach a lot of credit because he's taking advantage of the new rules that allows guys to transfer and be eligible immediately. And he's writing a chapter of the recruiting book and how to utilize the portal and transfers to be a better basketball team to improve.
Very seldom does a team sweep an opponent in the ACC. Wake Forest did it. They got us good at their place, and we almost stole one from Wake Forest at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center this past Saturday. Let's see if we can meet them in the ACC tournament, Coach. Maybe we owe them one, huh?
Well, I don't care who we meet. Just want to win.
Just win those games. Yeah. Al Davis said something like that. Just win, baby. Just win. Florida Farm Bureau Insurance is giving you and 3 friends the chance to win courtside seats when the Noles take on NC State on March the 5th. That's just around the corner, less than a month away. Prize includes courtside seats, a one-night hotel stay, and Knowles gear. Enter at knowlescontest.com today. That's knowlescontest, one word, .com today. Keep it right here on the Seminole Sports Network from Learfield. Are talking Florida State basketball on a Monday night from Glory Days Grill. Glad you found us on your television, ABC 27 in the South Georgia, North Florida area, and up and around the state of Florida, South Georgia on the Learfield Seminole Sports Network. And glad you tuned in. A lot of things you'll be doing right now, but we appreciate you keeping up with what's going on at Florida State with Florida State Hoops. Seminole Athletics would like to thank ViStar Credit Union for their support of FSU Hoops. ViStar, do good. Bank better, and Coach, it's amazing how quickly an hour goes by, but here we are almost at the top of the hour, and before we let you go, I'm going to get a comment from you on our next two opponents, Pittsburgh on Wednesday and North Carolina on Saturday, but I want to congratulate you and your staff and Betsy Hosey, the Varsity Club, and the Seminole Boosters for a tremendous weekend for all of us that follow Florida State basketball. I thought the reunion this year was the most magnificent I have ever been to.
Well, I think we had over 80 players that came back they want to hang out with the Seminoles and enjoy the festivities. And I would like to know how many how many tales were stretched. I don't want to call it, I won't say lie. I just want to know some of the tales were enhanced and embellished just a little bit. What do you think?
Probably a lot of them. And, when you look at, Coach, when you look up at the Tucker Center and you see those banners hanging there, I thought one of the most amazing things was the number of players who have had their numbers retired or honored at that Tucker Center. They were back. Bob Sura came in. He had a little boy, little Bobby. He had his jersey that said Sura on the back of it. And let's see, obviously George McLeod, we honored his jersey, but Dave Fedora was there. Hugh Durham was there. Is there somebody I missed? But of the players that we have retired or honored numbers, that was a great turnout.
Well, I can imagine how they felt, having the fans cheer them and recognize them. We hope that we can continue that tradition of having those guys back and hanging out with us and, really, saying thank you for building the program up to this point. They have given us some broad shoulders for us to stand on, and I enjoyed the time I had to spend with them. It was very special to me. When I walked in their reception and I heard the laughter, I heard the camaraderie, and I could just hear that excitement in their voices, as they were talking. Matter of fact, we had a hard time getting them to calm down so I could share a few thoughts with them. But that says an awful lot about the Seminole Nation and how appreciative they are for the respect that the athletic department has given them.
Alumni from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, 90s, all the way up to present. And Michael Snare was not there, who made 5 buzzer beaters in his career. But Byron Wells was there. He beat Duke with a buzzer beater from three-point land, almost standing on your toes, on the benches of the coach's bench.
Well, I don't intend to correct you, but I believe it was 6.
6? Oh, okay.
But I think we might have made a little mistake there. I think it was 6.
6 that Michael Snare.
We don't want to cheat him out of one of them.
Byron only had 1. Okay, that's okay. Tip my hat to the alumni that returned to Tallahassee, Florida for a tremendous.
Do you realize how significant that accomplishment is? I mean, I've never hit a buzzer beater. Have you?
No. No, I scored all my points from the free throw line. The clock was stopped when I scored. Coach, I
think you scored all your points from the recliner chair.
Yeah, 15 feet away. Don't miss. But 6 buzzer beaters. That's almost as good as 13 overtime wins in a row, which your teams have done. That's a national record.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know about 6 buzzer beaters, but that could be a national record. Okay, Pittsburgh and North Carolina. This is a tough week. One home, one away game.
Well, I'm glad we don't have to play them both on the same night. So let's just take one at a time. That's Pittsburgh. This is an important game for us. We need a bounce back game. We've very seldom ever have lost 2 games in a row.
No.
This year we've fallen on some hard times. The injuries obviously is not helping us any. But I'm confident that our guys will be ready to play, regardless of who's available. I think that whoever goes on the court is going to represent Seminole Nation with everything they have. I feel like we're prepared. We need to finish strong. There's no doubt about that. We got 8 more games to play, and we need to be on our P's and Q's.
On our P's and Q's to play ACC basketball. This week we play a home game, then an away game. Next week we get Clemson on a Tuesday night. Then we begin a string of 3 consecutive away games, beginning at Duke, then the COVID game, the makeup from postponement at Boston College. Then we got Virginia on the road. So the next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely as tough as any I can remember.
I wish you wouldn't talk about that right now. Come on. Let's just get let's get through the Pittsburgh game.
Coach,
My goodness.
I know it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's Pittsburgh.
It's Pittsburgh.
Now, Coach,
Okay.
one thing I know about Pittsburgh, and we play good man-to-man defense. I mean, we get in the grill of other teams. We force steals. We're 12th in the nation, first in the ACC in steals, and we force a lot of turnovers. One thing that jumps out at me, Pittsburgh shoots a lot of free throws, Coach. They're the leader, in not only in the conference, but in the nation of free throw attempts.
Well, that's because they're athletic. They drive awful hard to the basket, and they're strong guys who really, really matured in that area. They have several transfers on their team as well. And I think that's how people are progressing. They lose guys and they comb the portal to see who fits their style of play. And Pittsburgh has had, I believe, about 7 games that they've lost by 5 points or less.
Yeah, 3. They've lost 3 one-pointers, Coach.
Oh, my goodness.
That's man, wow, they've had no luck at all, Coach. Good luck against Pittsburgh.
Well, thank you a lot.
And against North Carolina.
And
against the rest of them.
I just want to say once again, I thank our fans for staying with this team. We need their support.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach Leonard Hamilton. His comments on Florida State basketball on this Monday night. We have run out of time. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Inside Seminole Basketball with head coach Leonard Hamilton. For Chris Culp, our producer, and Dave Pulaski in our studio, Gene Deckeroff saying good night and go Noles.